You pull out all the stops to create something wonderful, something great, something the world hasn't seen before. It's great, and you ride its success till it's time to innovate again, change, create the new thing. So what do? Do you take all that success and build something new from it? Do you try and build something that can rival the power of the PS5 and Xbox? Or do you ride off your predecessor's success and sort of just release the same thing? Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Do that! In this video, we review the Nintendo Switch 2, and we ask, is that actually a bad thing? So, as a whole, my time with the Switch has been great. I've enjoyed myself. It definitely is looking sharper and feels smoother playing games, but whilst there has been some positive changes, there have been some negatives that I'll cover in this video. But first, let's talk about the look and feel of the Nintendo Switch 2. From the moment I opened the box, all I could think was, this feels and looks premium. From its sleek black design to its sturdy feel of the Joy-Con 2s, even down to how much it weighs, which really hurts my arms under the weight. Oh! That's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. It makes the system feel better to hold. I've just got arms like a Victorian orphan, malnourished. My next point brings me to this point. Well, maybe not this exact point, but any point around me at the time. For people with no nails, the original Switch made opening the cartridge slot difficult. And don't get me started about the kickstand. They added an indent to slide the cartridge slot out and one to help flip the kickstand. I won't lie, my first impressions of pulling it out of the box were positive. Now the Joy-Cons, they feel sturdy, they feel nice to hold. The large design works, but most importantly, the new Joy-Con mouse feature feels good. I was genuinely worried, but they pulled it off. I genuinely stressed about this, but we'll talk about this a bit later. But then, I turned it on, and I was introduced to a setup screen. So I updated, signed into my account, and transferred, and then accepted some terms and conditions that I didn't read. Hope there wasn't anything new. Imagine if they added something in there like they could, I don't know, destroy my whole system at the click of a button. That'd never happen. So what do I think of the UI? Well, it looks mostly unchanged, aside from a few tweaks that add a touch of polish. And whilst that polish is nice and definitely welcome, if it ain't broke, don't fix philosophy starts to ring a little hollow here. The original Switch menu worked fine, it wasn't broken, but when the Nintendo 3DS had themes that fans absolutely loved, why not bring them back? Why stick with something that just works when you could bring themes back, print money, and get little to no backlash for it? It's a heavy requested feature. It baffles me that Nintendo didn't bring this back. Sure, they'll have to pay artists and creators to create the themes, but they're still gonna make a profit. Who doesn't like money? And who doesn't like supporting artists and creator? Right, yeah, Nintendo. Overall, the menu feels the same. One thing that has improved though is the eShop. What used to feel a little clunky during the original Switch's lifespan has now been polished up. It's smooth, it's responsive, and honestly, it's great. Great for Nintendo, that is, because I won't be scared away from their store anymore. I'll be able to spend money there. It's awesome! Because I've lost everything, I have no money, and I can't pay my rent. So, what was it like playing my first game? As I launched Mario Kart, it felt smooth. It looked sharp. It also felt a little expensive for what we got. $120 Australian or $80 US. That's a little expensive. The visuals on the screen look great. Running at 4K 60 FPS is phenomenal. Even making Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild look better than ever. I've even found that the higher frame rate makes it a lot easier to dodge and block. But then we get to handheld mode. And that's where I start to have some questions. Handheld can run at 120 FPS at 1080p thanks to VRR support. And as someone who hated playing handheld on the original Switch due to the screen size, I'm actually glad to say they fixed it. The screen, whilst not OLED, looks fantastic. That said, maybe they wanted to avoid screen burn, but the decision should have been the consumers. Make two versions. The audio quality is amazing, the visuals are stunning, and everything feels so smooth. And whilst a consistent 60 FPS is awesome, it does leave a bit of a sour taste when you realise this launched 5 years after the PS5, which has had VRR support at 4K since 2022. Sure, I can enable 120 FPS in docked mode by lowering the resolution, it still feels like it's lacking compared to something like the PS5. We need to talk about the fact that they have backwards compatibility this time around. This is awesome but necessary for the rest of time now that Nintendo has made it that a bunch of games are download only. Yep, even with a bunch of physical releases. Now according to Nintendo, not every game is like this, but a lot of them are. Me personally, I hate collecting physical copies of games. I've actually been considering throwing out my whole GameCube game collection. Nintendo, you're doing us a solid. In all seriousness though, this isn't great. I was lucky enough to go to the midnight release and get everything downloading the night before. When I woke up, I was able to play everything. My friend on the other hand, he has to work late. He got it the next day, downloaded everything. By the time it was all done, he had to go to work. He wasn't able to play it on the first day. The visuals for old Switch games range from minor visual pops to looking nearly identical in docked mode. However, in handheld mode, most displays at 1080p, the games I tested didn't have many issues, except for one in Xenoblade X's menus and during the load screen of Xenoblade Definitive Edition. I noticed some noticeable color bending. It didn't affect gameplay, but it was very obvious and definitely not meant to look that way. Now obviously I can't test every Nintendo Switch game on the Switch too, so if you have had any issues with any older games, pop them in the comment because I really do want to hear. And whilst you're down there, if you're liking the video, press a like, and if you want to subscribe, feel free to. Overall, what do I think of the Switch 2? It's been a blast playing it. It's an improvement, but it does leave me wanting more. Whilst the UI is the same, the visuals are looking a whole lot sharper. There's still no OLED option, but the new mouse feature is fantastic and will save me hours of my life trying to type things in with a controller. I'm genuinely excited to see what this will bring to first-person shooters or really any PC-styled game in future. Look, it's flawed in some aspects, but it excels at others. Yeah, it's a little overpriced for the console itself. Nintendo's notorious for not listening. We can kick and scream on the internet, but that's not going to change anything. A new approach is needed if we really want Nintendo to listen. I am okay with what we've got. It could be better, but Nintendo really needs to innovate with what comes next. Because this is just okay. It's not great. It's not phenomenal. It's just that. It's okay. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Maybe check out that recommended video there. YouTube's recommending it to you, so I don't know, it must be good.